LeBron is a competitor. He makes those around him better, but can he attract a superstar free agent to the Lakers? That's what ESPN NBA writer Brian Windhorst asks in a new story out on ESPN.com. Always great to see you, top competitor that you are. My friend, I have to ask you this. It's been interesting looking at people talking about playing with LeBron. For years, we didn't hear a lot of people doing that. They were kind of quiet about it. But Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, they're all sort of speaking out about what it's like to play with him, and they're not holding back.
Yeah, I think what they are starting to say, and I think what other people in the league are going to realize, is that playing with LeBron is challenging. You're going to get picked apart by the fans. You're going to get picked apart by the media. You're going to get picked apart by LeBron on social media at times. And there are rough nights. Kevin Love told me I had bad nights and dark times, but he was always happy to be there in June playing in the finals. And he said, ultimately, it's worth it. The question becomes over the long haul, Ryan, and especially next summer when the Lakers are trying to add another star, is it still going to be worth it when LeBron is 33, 34, 35 years old? And that's pretty much what the Lakers are banking on. They're banking on that one of the stars next year wants to join him. And I think they've got a good success chance. But it is worth pointing out that Kyrie opted out. Paul George didn't even give the Lakers a meeting. And the reports have said that Jimmy Butler wasn't interested in being traded to the Lakers. And so I would say that it's not a slam dunk when you look at those developments.
Yeah, you're talking about egos, and it's not easy to make those egos work together. Speaking, by the way, of Jimmy Butler, Woj just recently putting out that the Heat and the Wolves are in discussion still about Jimmy Butler. Where do you think that ends up? Because you've got a guy who wants out, but actually may end up playing with the team.
Well, the thing about it is Jimmy Butler has to play eventually this season. He's got to not only play, he's got to have a great year because he wants a huge contract next offseason. And he's trying to force his hand, and he's using his power, and he's got power, Ryan. He's a very highly desirable player. But when it comes to this transaction, Tom Thibodeau will get fired if this season is not successful for the Wolves. He can't make a trade that's going to add a draft pick or take salary relief so that some other general manager, another coach can benefit it. He's got to make a deal that helps him today. And therefore, they're playing a hardball, and I don't blame them. And frankly, they have leverage. No matter what anybody says, and no matter how the other teams complain about dealing with their front office and their ownership, ultimately, they have the player that other teams want. And if the Miami Heat don't want to offer what the Wolves want, then they're not going to get the player, and they're going to have to move on. Ultimately, I do think that's where he's going to go, but I frankly am impressed that Minnesota is playing hardball here, even if it means getting mocked in the short term in the media and having some uncomfortable times in their locker room. I think it's the right decision.
It's very interesting. You're one of the few voices that talk about being impressed with the Timberwolves. A lot of people are saying, well, you got to get rid of them, you got to trade them. But I think in many ways it shows a lack of understanding of leverage. They have the power in all of this. Do you think that maybe Jimmy Butler should have done this in a different way?
Well, I don't think Jimmy's timing was the best, but ultimately, Jimmy Butler is such a desired player that he has the leverage himself personally to force anything. And I think he realizes that. I do think it's hurt a little bit of what people think about him as a guy, but Ryan, let's be honest. If he's healthy next July, there's going to be offers rolling in on July 1st. Mm-hmm. When it comes to, look, I don't think this has been clean by the Wolves. And I don't think it's a great advertisement for how well their organization works. But for a team to hold out for what they think is the right price for a star player, that's one of the most important moves that they've made in 3 or 4 years, I have no problem with them waiting to get what they want. Anybody who wants to make fun of them or say they don't have any leverage doesn't understand that they have the player. Yeah. I don't blame them if they hang the phone up on an offer they don't like.
Amen to that. They have the ability. They should do what they need to do in that respect. Now, let's talk about one more thing. You mentioned in your article, again, how it is to play with LeBron. Now he's in L.A. Lonzo Ball is going to have to adjust to him in many ways. How will that work, do you think? And we know that LeBron's going to take over, but how do you grow a talent like Lonzo Ball within that star aura of LeBron James?
Ryan, LeBron has never played with a point guard like Lonzo Ball, who's got that type of height, who has this type of passing ability, who has the ability to make plays like this. He loves it. He loves the way that Lonzo can stretch the floor end to end with passes. But on the other hand, he's never played with a point guard like Lonzo Ball, which is a guy who hasn't shot the ball well. He's not a great shooter. He's always played with really good shooting point guards, and so that's going to be a challenge, and we're going to watch it unfold starting tonight.
All right. Well, superstar in his own right, Brian Windhorst. So great to see you. Glad you're back. Can't wait to see your weekly column on this on ESPN.com, all things NBA. Great to see you, my friend.